Kevin Wheeler here at Mercy Sports Medicine with Dr. Brian Mahaffey. And doctor, let's just start with Mercy Sports Medicine and what sets your approach apart, what sets what you do apart from other people?
Sure. I think ultimately is the teamwork. Sports comes down to individual talent, but working within a team approach. Our concept is that we have the physicians, the rehab people, the athletic trainers working in the high schools where we cover things, all working together as one team. And whenever you pull all of that together, everyone answers to everyone else. And so it's very common to have an athletic trainer come into me and say, I think we need to look at this and to look at that, but also that I have the ability to go to that athletic trainer when I don't see things that are going correctly and say, you need to change this. And what that does, Kevin, is it makes people, when we're trying to recover from an injury, the number one thing that will slow you down is missing 3 or 4 days as you're working on something. And so if you have that direct feedback all the time, you tend not to have the 3 or 4 days that slip through that all of a sudden you've got a problem that you could have prevented 3 or 4 days previously.
So that teamwork is where you start. So where are you trying to take this? What's the goal of Mercy Sports Medicine?
Well, we have developed a sports medicine program in Springfield, and with our relationship with the Cardinals, it again is that team approach. We want to be at high schools covering, and in our athletic trainers and our approach, we have policies and procedures that we have them follow. They're part of that community. They just don't show up at 3 o'clock with a bag and take care of injuries. We try to prevent injuries. The 3 major things that will get anyone in trouble in the legal system with sports medicine and high school sports is head, heart, and heat. And it's our job to prevent those things from occurring. And the only way you can do that is have an athletic trainer who's engaged in those kids from all the way through, and not the first day of 2-a-days with football or with fall sports, but 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks before, working on how do you hydrate, how do you do the things correctly, how do you eat to prevent those type of things from occurring. So that's part of what we want to do. We also, want to work with youth sports. We have a great relationship right now with the Missouri Youth Soccer Association. And again, it's covering events and doing those type of things, but it's also trying to help to prevent those injuries as best we can, and to do things on the front side of it. Concussions is a huge part of what we want to try to do. Again, education, prevention of a concussion, and doing the best you can. You can't prevent concussions from occurring, but you can prevent bad outcomes by getting people to understand what a concussion is and to seek treatment quickly instead of 3 or 4 days later whenever they keep trying to play through it. So those are the things that we're trying to do.
And you have a lot of high-profile sports clients too, professional sports organizations, and I find it interesting trying to get some of that same model to work for the amateur level, because it is funny because the amateur players are often even at more risk than professionals are, because they are professional athletes and they're different than a lot of people are as far as their advancement, and those you can use those high-profile connections to kind of do both, can't you?
You most certainly can. I've always said that I want to treat the freshman high school pitcher the same way that we treat a pitcher in the Cardinal organization. Now, is their talent level the same? No, it's not. But you can bring those same concepts and that same approach to get someone better, quicker, and safely back to doing what they want to do. As I tell people, it's our goal to fix what you have going on as quickly as we can, get you back doing what you want to do safely, prevent you from having it reoccur, and when you go back out there, be better than you were before. If we can accomplish those 4 things, then we've done our job.
So let's talk about the ways that teamwork and this different set of disciplines can come together to help athletes achieve their goals.
Sure. The concept comes down to we try to not say no. We, instead of just looking at an injury and saying that's what you have, we like asking the question, okay, why did you get that injury? What can we do away from that injury that will lead to that? I use this analogy all the time of, you come in and you've sprained your ankle, you sprain your ankle and you sprain your ankle, and you get rehab and you treat the ankle, It's like getting a tire that keeps going bad on your car replaced. Okay, fine. Sooner or later, you have to go look at the car and why is the tire keep going bad? And everyone who goes in with a bad tire says, they come out, your car's out of alignment. Okay, I get that conceptually. But we never get to that point in medicine and sports medicine a lot of times, that we keep fixing the tire, but we never fix the car. We never fix the other parts. The why does that keep reoccurring? And if you don't do that, it's just going to keep happening. And that's what ultimately we want to do.
So how does someone that is either just an active competitive adult or maybe a young athlete, how does someone know that they might need the services that Mercy Sports Medicine can provide?
Well, it's a full spectrum of what we want to do. Right now, we're doing the medical care side of things and the rehab. So if you're having recurring issues, problems with your activity, whatever it may be, or an acute injury, we're happy to see that. A concussion, we're happy to see those things. But also, if you're a runner, and all of a sudden, your 5K time is 20 seconds less than it was, and you're having a little bit of discomfort, you can't really figure out why that is. Yeah, that's something that we can help with. As we develop more, we want to bring in the performance enhancement and the prevention. And again, the term that we use is you move well and then you move often. If you're not squatting correctly, the answer to fixing that is not putting more weight on your back and doing more squats. It is doing the squat correctly and then working on getting that up. All you're doing is reinforcing a bad habit. If someone keeps telling you that 2 + 2 is equal to 5, sooner or later you think it's 5, you're just reinforcing a bad habit. You have someone who corrects you back. And that's ultimately what we want to do. We want to do that at a team level, at an individual level, to fix those problems, get you back doing what you want to do.
And finally, to close, self-awareness is a big deal in this, right? I mean, to understand what you're feeling and paying attention to what you feel like after you exercise or run a race or play in a softball game or something along those lines, and then understanding when you need to seek help.
Sure. You're going to have some soreness. You're going to have that. If it doesn't resolve, or as you're trying to recover from an injury and you get up the next morning, you're sore from what you did, you don't particularly need to quit, but you need to back down a little bit. You need to decrease the intensity of what you're doing. Find that where you're getting better. But if those things are going on for 2, 3, 4 days afterwards, or even longer, and it's progressing, not going away, that's usually a red flag that something's going on. It may be very, very mild, but if you ignore that, what tends to happen is you'll end up with a worse injury. Or acutely, if you have an injury, the sooner we get you in. Athletes work very hard at playing their sport. And the worst thing that can happen for an athlete is to call and say, well, we know you got hurt, but it's going to be 2 weeks in the middle of your season before you can be seen. You may be out for 4 or 6 months because of the injury you had, but my thought is, let's let you know that as soon as we can, so you can start working through the psychological and the physical part of getting back and getting better, instead of going, well, I don't know for 2 weeks. Because in 2 weeks, you may not have had that, and then you set for 2 weeks and you missed 2 weeks of your season and you didn't have to. That's what we want to try to get to.
Or you played with an injury that you didn't think was very severe and ended up with something worse.
Exactly.
And then you double that time, which is no fun for anybody.
Absolutely.